Could the Chicago Bears actually be moving to Arlington Heights in the future? What's up, guys? I'm back with the Chicago Bears off-season update videos. I hope all you guys are doing well out there and enjoying your day. I'm back with some more Bears news, which if you guys were on social media last night, you would know that Bears fans have been buzzing about this for the past 24 hours, okay? Last evening, pretty much out of nowhere, the Chicago Bears released a statement from Chicago Bears president and CEO Ted Phillips, which I'm going to read the statement to you guys right now. So, last evening, they said that we recently submitted a bid to purchase the Arlington International Racecourse property. It's our obligation to explore every possible option to ensure we're doing what's best for our organization and its future. If selected, this step allows us to further evaluate the property and its potential. Wow, man. I mean, Bears fans have been talking about this potentially happening for the past couple months now, ever since it was said that the Arlington racetrack was no longer going to be in commission after 2021. You know, there's rumors spreading about the McCaskey family potentially being interested in purchasing this property to build a new stadium. Now, those rumors were pretty much just rumors until yesterday, okay? Yesterday, it actually became official. The Chicago Bears submitted a bid to purchase this property, which, guys, it pretty much means they're going to get this property, okay? Nobody is going to outbid the Chicago Bears. Who has enough money to outbid an NFL team, okay? Maybe Jeff Bezos, maybe some other rich people out there, but in all likelihood, the Bears are going to win this bid and they're going to have this property, in which case, I mean, they're probably going to try to build a new stadium on it. If you guys are not from the Chicago area, you probably don't even know where Arlington Heights is, so let me explain exactly where it is. It's a suburb of Chicago located about 26 miles away from downtown Chicago, so not too far away, but if you're driving, it can be a big pain in the ass to get to because there's so much traffic going back and forth, okay? If you're driving from Chicago to Arlington Heights, it can easily take you an hour and a half, or even more depending on what time it is. I mean, without traffic, it's probably only a 30-40 minute drive, but there's almost always traffic on these roads in Chicago. So getting there does kind of suck, but there's a train service called Metro, which goes back and forth from the suburbs, which you can use to go to any suburb or to go to the city from the suburbs. So that's all pretty nice, but yeah, so Arlington Heights, guys, it had a huge property called the Arlington International Racecourse, which if you guys are not familiar with that, it was a big, you know, pretty much arena, I mean, not arena, but a big property for horse racing in Arlington Heights. Okay, so some of the best horse racing events were held in this town, but that's going to end this year because the property is going to close down permanently in September of 2021, okay, in a couple months, after which it's no longer going to be used for horse racing. And guys, this property is a very big property, okay? If you look at the total amount of land the Bears are going to be purchasing here, it's 326 acres of land. In comparison, Soldier Field sits on 7 acres of land. That is a massive difference, okay? So the Bears are going to have a lot more space now to potentially develop even more properties on there, okay? They could develop a hotel, they could develop casinos, they could develop restaurants, they could even make a damn amusement park if they want to, because that's a big location. Soldier Field, or the new stadium, whatever it's called, it's not going to take up 320 acres to build that stadium, okay? You could build the biggest stadium in all of America. It's still not going to take close to 320 acres to build it because that's a massive amount of space. So the Bears are going to have a lot of freedom in, you know, potentially being able to build other stuff on this property, which could bring in more revenue to them and also make the experience better for the consumer, which I do have to say there's a lot of mixed feedback on this move, okay? There's some fans that really do want the Bears to move out of Soldier Field, to move to a different location and finally get a state-of-the-art facility, get a way bigger stadium, get better parking areas, because like you know, man, parking Soldier Field now is really hard, and they want just a brand new experience for themselves, which I mean, I can understand that side of the coin, okay? Right now, Soldier Field, it's the third smallest stadium in the entire NFL. And for a fan base like the Bears, okay, a fan base as passionate, as diehard as Bears fans, that's kind of unacceptable, man. I mean, to only have 60-something thousand people in your stadium, you can't have the loudest stadium in the NFL with that because there's obviously not enough people, okay? You can't pack in 80,000 people in a stadium that small. So we don't have the most capacity. We can't ever host a Super Bowl because we don't have a dome, and obviously they're never going to play a Super Bowl in the freezing cold weather and snow. So in a new stadium with a dome, with a rooftop, and with more capacity, then we probably could have future Super Bowls hosted in the Chicago area, which would be pretty cool. And also, like I mentioned, I mean, parking is a pain in the ass at Soldier Field. Okay, first of all, getting to Soldier Field, if you are driving, sometimes it's damn near impossible with how much traffic is there because, like I mentioned, man, it's in the middle of the city pretty much. And driving in the middle of the city with all the people there, with all the traffic, it is never, ever easy, okay? It takes a long amount of time to go even 1 mile forward in the city just because of how much people are there. And especially on game days, that area can get very, very hectic to get to. So driving sometimes is damn near impossible to a Bears game. Taking the train, though, is much easier. That's what I usually do with me and my friends. We usually take the train. But for a lot of people, I mean, they don't want to take the train, so I understand where they're coming from. And, I do understand a lot of people just want something new at this point. Okay, Soldier Field is kind of outdated. It's kind of old. And a lot of, franchises now in the NFL, they're building new state-of-the-art facilities, new state-of-the-art stadiums with just enormous capacities, so much stuff to do outside the stadium. They're building clubs and bars and casinos outside the stadium. And the Bears, they could keep up with those other franchises by doing the same, by purchasing this property in Arlington Heights, which for a lot of people, man, that's going to make their experience at the games a lot better. So that's pretty much the argument for moving to Arlington Heights, to move away from Soldier Field. That's pretty much what all the people have been saying, on that side of the coin. But on the other side of the coin, the people that want the Bears to stay in Soldier Field, they have a lot of valid points as well. Okay, first of all, Soldier Field has one of the most beautiful locations in the entire NFL. To be located in the middle of Chicago with Lake Michigan on one side, with the city on the other, the skyline of downtown Chicago. You got the Sears Tower, you got all those tall buildings you can see, and it creates an atmosphere that you cannot emulate in a suburb. Okay, you're not going to get the same beautiful shots of Soldier Field in Arlington Heights because the beauty of the surrounding area is nowhere close to the same. Okay, it's all pretty much just flat land there with nothing else to do at all in the area. But in Soldier Field, okay, in Chicago, there's so much beauty in the downtown skyline. There's so much beauty in Lake Michigan, and you just get these insane pictures of Soldier Field that I'm really gonna miss if they do decide to go to Arlington Heights, because those pictures, those views are not going to be replaced there. So that's one thing that is going to suck if we do move to Arlington Heights. Another thing that is going to suck is that Soldier Field, guys, if you love it or hate it, you have to admit it has a lot of history in it. Okay, there's been so many Hall of Famers, so many iconic moments in this same stadium. Okay, Walter Payton played in this stadium. Dick Butkus played in this stadium. Mike Singletary, so many legends of the Bears. Okay, we have the most Hall of Famers in NFL history, and all of them played in this exact stadium, which I know to some people it does not matter at all. They don't really care about what happened in the past, but to a lot of us, it does matter to some extent. Okay, to me personally, I do kind of care about the history, about what has happened in the stadium, about all the iconic moments. I get, you always have to move on in life. There's always something new to be had as well, but there is some sentimental value in having this stadium just because of how historic it actually is. And I know for people especially older than me, okay, I'm only 22 years of age, so I haven't even experienced many iconic moments in the stadium. But for those of you in your 50s, 60s, or older, maybe even 40s, like maybe you remember the 85 Bears playing in the stadium. Maybe you remember other, really good moments happening in the stadium, which is going to be hard for you to move on from. So I do totally get that side of the coin as well. And also one final thing, I mean, Bear weather is not going to be had under a rooftop. Okay, November and December, those games in Chicago are no longer going to have that special, unique weather to them. Okay, you're not going to have snow in those games. You're not going to have freezing cold temperatures anymore if you do build a dome, which I know to a lot of people that, really sucks to them because Bear weather is something they pride themselves on having here in Chicago. Okay, to go up to Soldier Field to our house in the cold, I mean, for a lot of people, the NFL, that's pretty hard to do. Like we saw with Jared Goff, okay, and the Rams in 2018. When they came up to Soldier Field in that freezing cold weather, Jared Goff had one of the worst days of his entire career because he cannot play in the cold, but we could. So that was an advantage that we're probably not going to have, if we do build a rooftop. But to be fair, though, also, we haven't been winning that many games in the last few decades with that advantage, so maybe it's not much of an advantage to begin with. But whatever the case is, man, it's going to be kind of different not seeing snow and freezing cold temperatures at Bears games in December and November if we do build this new stadium. So, those are pretty much the two sides of the coin. A lot of people on both sides are arguing right now on social media their points of views, which is totally valid. You're allowed to have your opinion, obviously, and you should have your own opinion on this because it's probably going to depend on a lot of factors. Like I've seen that younger people especially are kind of in favor of the Bears moving out of Soldier Field just because to them the history doesn't really mean as much because we haven't experienced much of it, okay, in our lifetimes. Like the Bears have pretty much always been garbage. Okay, we've had horrible quarterbacks. We haven't been winning that much at all. So to these people, in my generation especially, like going to a new stadium in a state-of-the-art facility with, potentially having 80,000 Bears fans all next to us, maybe having the loudest stadium in the NFL, that does excite us a lot. But maybe to people in their 50s and their 60s, they really do appreciate the history of Soldier Field. Okay, the tradition of playing in bare weather, all the memories they've made in that stadium. So to them, maybe they want to stay at Soldier Field. Also, I've seen that people living in Chicago, they want the Bears to stay in Soldier Field, obviously, and people living in the suburbs, they want the Bears to move to Arlington Heights because it's going to be easier for them to get to the games, while for people living in Chicago, it's going to be much harder to get to Bears games. And I really do understand both sides here, because I flip-flopped myself the past few months and the few weeks while these rumors were coming out. Okay, at first I was like, there's no way the Bears should be moving out of Chicago. Okay, there's so much history in Soldier Field, that beautiful downtown skyline next to Lake Michigan. It's not going to be the same atmosphere in Arlington Heights. But thinking about us potentially having the biggest stadium in the NFL with 85,000 plus Bears fans all packed in there, creating the loudest atmosphere in the entire NFL, I'm not gonna lie, man, I mean, that does excite me a lot. Okay, we could create some insane memories in that new stadium, and maybe we should be looking forward to a new era now of Bears football. Okay, we finally have a good quarterback. Probably we're gonna have a brand new direction in this franchise, and maybe we should leave the past now in the past. Okay, that past also was not really that successful for us. Okay, we only had one Super Bowl in the Super Bowl era and not much winning at all after it. So personally, guys, I'll be fine with whatever happens. Okay, if the Bears do decide to stay in Soldier Field, I'll be more than happy with that, because I do love Soldier Field probably a lot more than other people in my generation do, because I do appreciate the history. I love the location of it, right in the middle of the city, with the beautiful skyline with Lake Michigan on one side. Like, I do really love Soldier Field as it is. So I'm going to be totally fine if the Bears do decide to actually stay in Soldier Field. But if they do decide to build a new property in Arlington Heights, a new stadium there, I'd be okay with that too, guys. I mean, we would have a much bigger stadium. We'd have probably 85,000 plus Bears fans all in one location, much easier access to a lot of people, much easier parking as well. So I mean, I would totally be okay with it. I mean, there's going to be trade-offs no matter what the Bears decide to do. There's going to be people pissed off and people happy no matter what the Bears decide to do. But that's pretty much my view of the situation. Okay, there's two sides the Bears could go right now. They could decide to stay in Soldier Field, and if the city wants to renovate it now, which they probably will want to, because now they're at the threat of losing the biggest team in their town to a suburb. That's not going to make Chicago happy at all. So maybe they finally do decide to renovate it further, create more seats, maybe make it more beautiful. I mean, that would be pretty nice. But maybe they don't decide to do that, and the Bears in a couple years, maybe not a couple years, this is probably going to take a long time, right? Because the Bears lease at Soldier Field does run through 2033. So unless they find a way to buy out that lease, it's probably going to be a long time until we see this new stadium. But whatever the case is, man, if we do decide to go to this new stadium within the next decade or next decade plus, I would be okay with that too. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you think the Bears should move to Arlington Heights? Do you think they should stay in Soldier Field? What do you think? Let me know down below. But as always, guys, bear down.